Hello, going to keep this really short and punchy, second video of the day. So more rules have just been kind of announced, this time for Astra Militarum, some of the new units that were announced during the Adepticon stream. So some kind of further information here, going to go through what they do. So first of all we have Commissar Graves in his ridiculously large transport. Again, another unit that has two versions. So you had similar to Logan Grimnar on Storm Rider, Logan Grimnar on foot, very similar to kind of this. So base profile, moves 12, toughness 8, 3 up, 4 up, 12 wounds, 6 up leadership, 5 OC, so fairly solid generic vehicle profile. It has Chiron Gatling cannon, 24-inch range, 12 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1, so can hit on 2s with orders, I imagine. And then the Perfectus heavy stubber, which is rapid fire 3, so up to 6 shots, same profile of 501, so potential for 18 anti kind of light infantry shots. Melee weapons, armoured hull, extra attacks, and enforcer crew extra attacks. Armoured hull, 3 attacks at weapon skill 4, strength 6, AP 0 and damage 1, and similarly the enforcer crew is 10 attacks at 301, and then a power sword and manus mortis, which has lance, so 5 attacks at kind of guardsman power fist level, hitting on 2s, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2, so wounding a lot of the game on 4s or better, which is pretty solid. Then it has its war gear abilities. Each time this unit ends a charge move, you can select one unit within engagement range, roll a d6. On a 2, that unit takes d3 mortals, 4 and 5 it takes 3, and on a 6, d3 plus 3. So you could stack that with tank shock and do up to 12 mortal wounds, which is pretty good. And is relatively durable at T8, 12 wounds, so can throw it into a kind of skirmishing unit or into an opponent light vehicle, possibly even kill the light vehicle just on the charge. So it then has Deadly Demise 3, has obviously the faction rule, and then we have our abilities. So we have Mechanized Spearhead. In your movement phase, each time a friendly Astra Militarum regiment unit, which is, it's been a lot of regiment based kind of ones so far, disembarks from a transport that is within 6 of this model. After that unit has been set up, this model can issue 1 order to that regiment unit, regardless of how many orders this model has already issued this turn. A lot of order potential. Not sure on which attachment that's going to work with best, but Grizzled Company, where they use a lot of chimeras, possibly, going to be pretty strong, where jump out a load of Kaskin Scions sort of thing. Boom. Even more orders on all of them. Rapid fire, +1 to hit, +1 save, all of that, +1 OC. Huge amount of bonus orders going on there. Brutal Disciplinarian. Once per turn at the start of any phase, you can select one friendly Astra Militarum infantry unit, excluding units that only contain 1 model, so you can't, target a random character. That is battle shocked. It becomes unbattle shocked. So that's really strong again. Very good for kind of flipping an objective, because in your opponent's turn, say the unit becomes battle shocked, or shadows from Tyrannid kind of thing can bump, it's gone. So useful ability, not game breaking levels, but useful. The extra orders one is probably the one that will be the most easily spammable. Then in terms of what else it can do, it can order 1 order to a regiment or squadron unit. This officer can only issue move, duty and honour, and fixed bayonets, so it's slightly more limited. Not sure kind of where this will fall points wise. Again, nothing quite like Yarrick as the datasheet that was released, so this is a little bit more niche, I feel. You then have the foot variant, so fairly similar, but has the same melee weapon but without lance, and only has a bolt pistol. Movement 6, T3, 4 up, 5 up, 4 wounds, 6 up leadership, and 1 OC. It does then have the leader ability, which is significantly different from the vehicle variant. This unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in which it fell turn in which it fell back. That is amazing. That is a really good ability to have on anything that can be attached to a solid shooting platform unit. Once per turn with Brutal Disciplinarian, they can, at the start of any phase, select a friendly infantry unit of Astra Militarum, excluding one model units, so it's still the same battle shocked ability. You become unbattle shocked. Similarly, orders can issue the same orders as the limitation on the vehicle variant, so that's quite interesting that it doesn't have the full suite of orders. So you can only have one Commissar Graves. Shockingly, you can't take both the vehicle and the on foot variant. It can also lead pretty standard shock troops, jungle fighters, command squad, death corps, Krieg, Kaskin, combat engineers, and tempestuous scions. I imagine Kaskin and scions is probably the best place for this guy. I imagine he'll be somewhere in the 60-80 point kind of range. For the on foot variant, no idea about the vehicle one, anywhere between 100 and 200 points with GW's wild pricing. So I think you might see him with Kaskin and Scions, jumping out of a Chimera, as that is huge for being able to potentially fall back if they survive, and getting that ability to shoot, which is something that Guard doesn't often have in kind of a fallback and shoot variety. We then have two of the vehicle variants that were shared. The first one is the Centaur RSV. I put both on one page because it's fairly limited into what can be done. There are no war gear options, so it cannot change from its default loadout. It has a transport capacity of 12, and it cannot take artillery models. Each Ogrin takes up 3 slots, so you can put 4 Ogrin into this. It's T12, movement 12, T7, 3 up, 10 wounds, 7 up leadership, 2 OC. Fairly standard, basic transport kind of profile. Range weapons, it has a pistol-mounted heavy stubber, rapid fire 3, similar profile as the previous one, but only strength 4, hitting on 4s. So it's more of a move it forward and go for it. It does, however, have firing deck 12, which is really solid because that allows you to kind of stick Kaskin in and unload, or Scions and unload a lot of shots. While one or more units with its rapid strike vehicle are embarked, unless this model is battle shocked, add 1 to this model's OC for every 3 models rounding down embarked within it. So if you have a troop unit with 2 OC each per model, doesn't matter, but if you have 12 models within there, you get to add an extra 4 OC, which is really solid. So it becomes OC 6, so quite good at flipping objectives. You then have the models inside for other shenanigans of shooting or jumping out once the transport is destroyed, and then flipping the objective in the next turn should they be able to hide. So fairly solid. I imagine probably somewhere in the 75 kind of range, maybe about that, just purely because of the firing deck 12 and the potential with the OC. That is quite solid to have 6 OC with a single transport. It will come down to costs. It's quite quick. 12-inch movement is very solid, so 12-inch disembark 3, shoot. Yep, that's really good. It will be something like Graves could attach to that, jump out, then fall back, move into the transport, shoot still. So that is really useful, and same with any kind of normal unit as current rules for 10th. Stuck in combat, fall back into this, be able to shoot at full volume, because you then only need to order the transport to be +1 to hit. Happy days. Yeah, fairly solid profile. Obviously, the 3-up save, again, it baffles me with guard vehicles having the same save as a Rhino when it has no roof, but it means it's relatively durable, aside from the toughness, which toughness 7 isn't a huge breakpoint, but yeah, we'll see how much kind of it costs point wise. We then have the Hippogriff AFV, similar profile, 12-inch move, toughness 8, 3-up armor save, but 7 wounds this time, leadership 7, OC2, has a lot of gun options. Any number of models can have their heavy stubber replaced with one melter gun, and they can also have their vigilator cannon replaced with a Gatling cannon, melter cannon, or heavy las cannon. So quite a few choices there. So you have the Gatling cannon has assault. In fact, all of the weapons have assault, so this is really quick as a vehicle to get up, get some shots. It doesn't have firing deck, so slightly different kind of thing. Also does not have transport capacity, so this is quite an aggressive potential unit. You're looking at a minimum of the 13-inch movement before being able to still shoot. So same profile similarly with the Gatling cannon, but this is strength 5 again for some reason. So 12 shots, hitting on 4s, probably 3s with an order, and strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. You then have the heavy las cannon, only a single shot hitting on 4s, otherwise standard las cannon profile. Heavy stubber, standard heavy stubber profile. Rapid fire 3, strength 4, 0, 1, so 6 shots, it's pretty good. Melter cannon, 2 shots, melter 2, strength 9, AP 4, D6, and then a melter gun, same profile but shorter range at 12 instead of 18. And then the vigilator cannon has blast, D6 shots, strength 8, AP 1, damage 2, pretty good anti-marine hunter, and then has a melee profile, sure. 3 attacks, standard hitting on 4s, 5, 0, 1. It then has its ability of Deadly Demise 1. It can be in units of 2, which is quite interesting. So does kind of mean that if you had a unit of 2, can never be battle shocked, which is quite an interesting one. In your shooting phase with convoy escort vehicle, after this unit is shot, it can make a normal move of up to D6. Excellent. So it has move shoot move, which means you can poke out 1 inch past terrain feature, shoot, and then 1 inch back and be effectively hidden. So that's really solid. And with the longer range guns, means, you know, 2 las cannons poke their heads out. I'm not sure how easily it is to hide 2 of these. I'm not quite sure the size of the vehicle, but does allow for that. Also, they have squadron. So they're kind of, a lot of things can be ordered to them in that regard. Thankfully, they don't interact with the abilities of Yarrick and the shoot part, so that's nice. But yeah, interesting profile. Will very much come down to being points dependent. Again, I imagine being similar point range as probably a Sentinel, maybe a little bit more expensive. But yeah, interesting overall. Not sure how much it will displace other units. I think still infantry builds are going to be really strong with Yarrick, so I'm not really too sure where this is going to see its place, but I don't have as much tabletop experience with playing Guard as other factions. Currently though, I feel that Recon Guard, being now the top dog, by, you know, bolting in Yarrick, makes it a very strong force for 10th edition. How that translates into the next edition, who knows. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the kind of new units that are being shared? How do you think they're going to shake things up? Assuming they are released relatively soon, I think there's probably going to be pre-orders, given the fact they've showcased them today, either this Sunday or next will be the kind of announcement. So they'll be coming out soon, and yeah, look forward to see how much they cost and how much they interact with kind of changing up guard units. If you've joined in, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out on Facebook, Voidstorm Games, and also on Instagram, similar thing, just to kind of help develop, share the kind of channel. I've got several events coming up soon, so I hope to see you at those. I'm also going to Warhammer Birmingham at the end of May, so if you kind